XAIN is a digital infrastructure solution provider, and joining me now are the CTO, Professor Michael Huth, and the CEO, Leif-Nissen Lundbaek. Thank you very much for joining us today. So maybe you can explain what's behind XAIN.
Sure. XAIN is actually a company that builds the infrastructure for all sorts of sharing economy applications. This means that we can actually build applications that are very thin and build them on top of basically our infrastructure. This can be applications around sharing economy, around really car sharing, can be around data marketplaces, about knowledge sharing, anything that you can imagine really. And we want to make it as simple as possible.
The company was founded in 2017. Which milestones happened since then?
Well, XAIN basically originated as a research project from Oxford University and Imperial College, where Michael Huth is also from. And we actually achieved also since then quite a lot. So we were founded in 2017, as you mentioned. And since then we had, for example, a successful pilot project with Porsche, which was also in the news. But we also worked together with other enterprises such as Siemens, Deutsche Bahn, and really focus a lot on the mobility industry here. But we are quite open also for other applications. Other than that, we also founded the XAIN Foundation to actually provide a whole framework for actually open sourcing everything that we do on the tech side, and to also build like a trusted ecosystem around it. We also closed a successful funding round together with Earlybird, we also really created like a framework for access control, actually more like a domain-specific language really, which allows you to easily program all sorts of access control applications.
At the moment, everybody talks about blockchain technology. Are you a blockchain-based company?
Well, actually, we would not really consider us as a blockchain company. We see it more as a necessity. So also quite similarly, such as, for example, saying that we develop like an application or web application in HTML, we wouldn't really say, okay, we develop now an application in blockchain. For us, it's more that actually if you really create an ecosystem with different enterprises in the lead and actually creating this kind of sharing economy between them, you actually need a lot of trust. And blockchain really helps to establish this kind of trust and also securing the kind of access control flows between these enterprises, and to make sure that they also find an easy consensus about updating, for example, new policies.
You are developing Frost. What's that?
Right, so it actually goes back to some research I did with a colleague, Glenn Bruns at Bell Labs at the time, when I was at Imperial, good 10 years ago. And it was all about, how could I develop an easy language that is really designed for open systems here, where I might not know at the time when I write these policies who's actually interacting with this. Just for example, a vehicle gets built, there's a numerical passport in the future of data for the manufacturer. There is a dealership that wants to have some access to the vehicle, and then, say, a leaseholder of the car might even get some access of the car to family members. So this is an open ecosystem where you're not knowing ahead of time who might actually participate. And so Frost gives us this ability to have these agents in the ecosystem administer their own access controls.
So there is a whole ecosystem.
Right. So, and you can actually transfer this to other settings. If you think of enterprises, they have a lot of data locked up locally that they might be incentivized to actually share with other enterprises. But again, there's a trust issue, there's a technology interoperability issue, and there's also an issue of having the right safeguards for this kind of sharing process. And so Frost, for us, is sort of a lower layer, kind of light, feather-light technology layer that can animate those kinds of services to overcome these trust issues.
You also created the XAIN Foundation. Why did you do that?
Right, for a variety of reasons. I mean, for one, the technology itself will be situated in shared ecosystems. So the foundation is essentially a ecosystem with a network in which these things can be operationalized. But also external members, companies, for example, might join to really participate in the development of this kind of technology, to make it basically a de facto standard, but also to then use this to build applications on top of it. For example, some sort of smart lock application where, say, an airline might collaborate with a hotel chain to get some kind of smart access for customers.
And what's the relationship between the XAIN AG and the XAIN Foundation?
Right. So, I mean, the AG, as its founding entity, is foreseeing the initial nurturing of the foundation and the definition of the governance process, but also, wants to actively promote the foundation and recruit members. But once the ecosystem has a certain size and really grows as a community, the AG would like to withdraw from this at least partially. And really have the members take ownership of the ecosystem. At the same time, the AG will be a service provider for core technology, yet others, third parties, might also do that, and it would be encouraged to do that in the future.
You're based in Berlin. Is Berlin a good place for startups?
Yeah, actually, we think so. I mean, especially in this kind of setting of decentralized applications, Berlin is actually one of the leading hubs in the world. So, and also in the combination of enterprise software, Berlin is really strong here. So it's not so much focused on consumer applications, but really when it comes to decentralized enterprise applications, there's a lot of different companies actually based in Berlin. And there's also this kind of ecosystem where there's actually also knowledge sharing a bit between these kind of companies. And this makes it really, really kind of like a hub of decentralized applications.
I think Germany is worldwide known for its industry. Will we see in the future that it's also known for its software technology?
Well, we think so, yes, because Germany is really focused on really precise applications and a kind of engineering culture that is really known in the world also. And I think this can be also transferred to software development, where, for example, other countries are more focused on fast prototyping systems, very fast market entries. But when it comes to really safety critical and security critical applications, I think this kind of precision that we have here can be also really valuable also for the software development.
So 10 years from now, where do you see the company? What's the vision?
Well, I think we will have established, also with the help of the foundation, that the Frost technology will become a de facto standard as a lower layer of technology for enabling the kind of sharing of data, resources, but also of learning, for example, models that might come through machine learning, that we will see a fairly healthy ecosystem of applications written on top of this technology in more than one sector, not just confined to mobility and automotive, but also others.
Professor Michael Huth, the CTO of XAIN, and Leif-Nissen Lundbaek, the CEO of XAIN. Thank you very much for joining us today. Appreciate your time, and thank you for watching.